When life knocks you down, and life will knock you down, try to land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. Welcome to Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle. In the last video, I talked about transitioning from saver to spender. And also, I talked about how I'm enjoying my travels around the country. That was on day 22 and of my 36-day travel around the country visiting friends and family. And I'm now on day 28. So now we are going to continue this video series, but this time I'm going to talk about a book that I just recently heard about on Happy on Monday on Julie's channel. And so I'm going to go in depth a little bit into that book and the research that I did into the book, You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. Before I get into the book review of You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think, this has been a memorable trip. And 2 days ago, I got a reminder that 5 years ago, on November 26, 2019, I gave notice to my job. I gave them 2 months' notice and said, I quit. As I mentioned, the name of the book is You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. And I had never heard of the book before, but because I'm really into early retirement, my researcher mode kicked in. And so I had to do more research on this book. Thank you, Julie. So let's start with the author. Wes Moss, he's a financial advisor, and he also has a YouTube channel that I found where he goes through like a mini series playlist about this book. So I'm going to link that mini series playlist by the author in the show notes. And I'm also going to link Julie's video that inspired me on this in the show notes. Before I get started, I want to read what someone said about Wes Moss and his research. After conducting an intensive study of happy retirees to learn the financial practices they hold in common, Moss discovered that it doesn't take financial genius, millions of dollars, or sophisticated investment skills to ensure a safe, solid retirement. All it takes is 5 best practices. 1, determine what you want and need your retirement money for. Figure out how much you need to save. Create a plan to pay off your mortgage in as little as 5 years. Develop an income stream from multiple sources. And number 5, become an income investor. I also found a book review by Ken Tu Phi, who is the president of Lifesaver Books. Before I go through whether or not I did these 5 best practices in preparing for my retirement, I just want to read a little bit of what Ken said about the book. What makes a retiree happy? Happy retirees have busy social schedules. A vibrant social life tends to lead to greater happiness. They play sports, entertain, and travel with their friends. They have activities they love to do and volunteer according to their interests. They contribute their money and or time to causes they are passionate about. That is a very good description of my retirement. Best practice number 1 is to have purpose. It says determine what you want and need your retirement money for. And what that means to me is that my money is for community service. I have been given so much in my life that it's time for me to give back, especially in the community where I've lived. I've lived in various different states and countries around the world, and I've always volunteered. So I volunteer my time, I volunteer my money. That's what I do. Number 2 is savings. Figure out how much money you need to have saved before you retire. I didn't do this. I saved and saved and saved. And when it came time for me to quit my job, as I mentioned on November 26, 2019, I just quit. I had money saved, but I didn't plan on how much money I needed before it happened. It was a very sudden decision, and I'm very happy that I made that sudden decision. Please like and subscribe and share my video with anyone you think can use this content on retiring early, financially free. Number 3 is mortgage. Pay off your mortgage in as little as 5 to 10 years. Julie did this. She paid off her mortgage, and this was a fantastic thing for her. I did not pay off my mortgage. However, I moved to a lower cost of living area and I put down a substantial amount on my mortgage as a down payment. This lowers our monthly payments. Then we refinanced to a below 3% interest rate, which makes us very stable for the rest of our mortgage. Number 4 is income. It says develop an income stream from 3 or 4 sources and not just one. I have about 6 income stream sources, so I've covered this one. I've always had multiple income sources, and I had secondary income sources. My side hustle replaced my 9 to 5 income, and that's how I was able to quit immediately. I didn't have a lot of savings, but I had a second source of income that replaced the first source of income. Now, in retirement, I'm trying to find another source of income to replace that second source of income. So I still have multiple income streams. So the question in the comments for the day is how many streams of income do you have, either in retirement or before you retire? Number 5 is income investing. Now it says become an income investor. And that's what I'm just now becoming 5 years into retirement is I'm becoming an income investor. I'm going to, in 2025, pay off one of my rental loans, and that will help me to have more income coming in each month. So it only took me 5 years to get to this point of becoming an income investor. And also, what he says here is, and this is Ken, he says, happy retirees come up with the right mix of stocks, bonds, real estate, and cash that ensure their financial independence and give them flexibility and options for pursuits of their hobbies, vacations, and passions. I agree with this in that the more different streams of income you have, let's say real estate, the stock market, when one goes up, the other one can balance it out so that you're not all dependent on just the stock market. And you're not all dependent on just bonds, or you're not all dependent on just real estate. So I am diversifying from my overweight real estate portfolio into the stock market in the future. I believe that personal finance is personal. The way I do it is not the way that Julie does it, which may not be the same way that Wes Moss suggests in his best practices. But I do believe that we can all get to financial independence and we can all retire early. But we just have to do what's best for us and our family and our risk tolerance. I take a lot more risks because I have a lot more income and I live way below my income needs. So therefore, I can take more risks. Some people are more conservative and they are very safe because they know that their bucket is limited. My bucket is unlimited. So I want to leave you with this quote: retire from work, but not from life. Remember, never let your past determine your future.